Welcome back to part 2 of our SOPA video with Arbor Networks, and I'm here with Arabella Hallawell from Arbor. Welcome back.
Thanks, John, for having me again.
Oh, my pleasure. So I wanted to ask you about integration. So one of the things I know about Arbor is that you are not only doing this network security analytics, but you have a rich history in threat intelligence. And those are two data sources that are very closely integrated in SOPA. So what are you doing there? What value does that bring to customers?
Arbor has a different vantage point than some other security vendors out there in terms of we have a rich history with a lot of service providers around the globe. So we're very fortunate that we get a huge amount of unique visibility as well as internet telemetry. We're able to see over 140 terabytes per hour of internet traffic. So wow. We're able to see a lot of global visibility and ebbs and flows of basically attack peaks and flows. So that gives us a really interesting vantage point. And then when it comes to actually understanding the attack traffic infrastructure that's being used, the botnets, the command and controls. And again, our ACERT team is a little different from some other security vendors in terms of their traffic and routing experts as well as security experts. And so what they do is they look at a lot of both the traffic infrastructure, and we have a lot of both unique tools and visibility there, but we also then combine it with being able to look at what's the malware going into, the malware of botnets, including Mirai. And so ultimately what we do is we update this information into our solutions on an hourly basis, but we also make this available to our customers in the form of different threat briefs and advisories.
So I'm, as a customer, you're spoon feeding this to me, and then I can compare that to what I'm seeing on my internal network. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Many organizations, particularly when it comes to DDoS in this new age of Mirai and Reaper, where you have the ability for huge tsunamis to come out of nowhere, you do need these early warning services, but then you also need the expertise to know, well, what am I dealing with? Who's behind it? What do I do? And so that's really where our research works hand in glove with our solution. So it's both in product, but we also help our customers in terms of very detailed threat advisories, but also when they're actually under attack, we work with them hand in hand combat to help them, because oftentimes these attacks are getting much more sophisticated and they use a variety of resources and even different providers. So we work very closely with our customers who are under attack as well.
Yeah, you mentioned in the first part the cybersecurity skills shortage, and threat intelligence is an esoteric, it's a very advanced area. Very few companies have professional threat hunters. So to the extent that your ACERT team can contextualize that data, give it to your customers in a consumable form, that's good stuff. Well, let me take you in a different direction now. SOPA is really, it stands for Security Operations and Analytics Platform Architecture. So we tend to think of security world, but we also know that security operations really is a cooperative process with IT ops. Now, Arbor is a division of NetScout. What are you doing to kind of bridge those two worlds, the NetScout world and the Arbor world, into some kind of a security and IT or maybe network operations kind of solution?
NetScout focuses on service assurance, so helping teams, applications teams, IT teams make sure that their applications and services are up and running, troubleshooting. And we're seeing increasingly that security is a key fabric there in terms of making sure that application is running, is up, and you also get visibility across that entire ecosystem from your on-premise network to your cloud network and everything that comes in between, including these new IoT devices that come on board. Where NetScout has fundamentally innovated for network teams is really with its wire data, its rich data called ASI, and that's very transformational technology because organizations can get such richness of data in terms of that endpoint to connection data. So what we've done is we've actually connected their sort of core ASI technology to our security suite, as well as with their service assurance suite. And so increasingly, organizations can take advantage of that same rich data, but for dual purposes. Maybe it's a service assurance issue, but maybe it's a security issue. And so we're really making sure this sort of transformational smart data fabric could be used for either purpose.
Okay, so it's all built on top of the data, and so you have services to collect and process and centralize that data, and then you can analyze it for different purposes. Are you seeing your customers do that?
Yeah.
Or are we at the beginning of that trend or well along the way?
So we are definitely seeing our customers adopt that technology for different forms, including applications as they move to new types of cloud environments, as well as new types of infrastructure like SDN. In terms of using it for security purposes, absolutely, we're seeing more and more that security is seen as a key part of the everyday fabric of IT and application management.
Yeah, and we encourage customers to do that. Sometimes there's a little bit of a separation of church and state mentality, but these two organizations have to collaborate more to really improve upon security processes.
Yeah, and I think IoT and cloud are both great examples of that. And in fact, we did a recent Spectrum proof of concept with a customer, and we saw some issues, and then ultimately, they then sort of showed it to the network team, and they realized that they actually had a camera that was doing some sort of strange things. It actually wasn't a security issue, it was more of a troubleshooting issue. But again, it goes back to, do you know what systems are actually on your network, what they're doing, and
basic security hygiene to start.
Both basic security hygiene, but also are you able to see all of that conversation data happening within your internal network? For most organizations, they've had good technology kind of at the perimeter, good technology at the endpoint, but the stuff in the middle, all these different devices having conversations with each other, that's often been silent. And that's really the opportunity for NetScout and Arbor, is to look at all of those internal network conversations, figure out what's needed from a service assurance perspective, but also from a security perspective. And if there's something really bad and we're seeing, some kind of big attack bubble up, we can take measures to mitigate and, help prevent it for them.
Well, that's certainly what we're after with SOPA. So I could talk to you all day, but our time is short. So thank you very much for participating, and look at our website for more resources on SOPA.